Hello and welcome to Eating Smart. I'm Pam Outen, Family and Consumer Science Educator with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Program here in Cabarrus County. Thanks so much for joining us for Eating Smart. I've had so much fun across the county and in the local grocery stores when people stop me and tell me, "I've tried your recipe, my family liked that." And that's what this program is all about. We are hoping that you will try these easy and nutritious and simple recipes at home. Research shows that if you plan more meals and eat at home, you'll save money, save calories, and in the long run, save time. So thanks for joining us for Eating Smart today. And today, we're going to be doing a very easy slow cooker recipe. As we come into the kitchen, we're going to be enjoying a recipe entitled Easy Chicken Santa Fe. And we're going to be using a tool called a crock pot or a slow cooker. And I bet every house has a crock pot or slow cooker someplace at home. It may be on the high shelf of above the refrigerator or down in the cabinets. And I hope you'll get out your slow cooker and dust it out and use it even more. A slow cooker or crock pot is a wonderful tool to use. It saves so much time and energy, and it saves, it's just so easy is the only way I can describe it. It's perfect for a beginning cook also. The whole principle of a slow cooker is that you add the food to the slow cooker, put the lid on, and leave, or go read a book. Come back in 4 to 6 hours or perhaps 8 hours and enjoy a meal that's ready for you, and your kitchen is going to be filled with these delicious aromas. A couple things about slow cookers, and I know that many of you already have a slow cooker, but if you are planning on purchasing a slow cooker or a crock pot, there are a couple things I would like to just mention. If you're in the market for a crock pot or slow cooker, you want to select one that has a removable liner. This makes cleanup so much easier. This is not all crock pots or slow cookers are designed like this, but if you're purchasing one, you definitely want to get one that has a removable liner. It makes cleanup easy. In a few minutes, I'll show you something you can use if your liner is attached or if your slow cooker does not have a removable liner. The other thing you want to make sure you buy when you get a slow cooker is just some simple controls. Mine goes from low to high or off to low to high. Some may go from off to medium to high. This is all you need. You don't need any other fancy controls. But today there are slow cookers on the market where you can set the timer to start at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock and it will cut off automatically. I'd love to have one of those, but really this is all you need, just a simple slow cooker or crock pot. If you're purchasing a crock pot, probably the 4-quart size will be big enough for your family. There's larger crock pots, and I want to purchase one of those for my family, but right now, a 4-quart crock pot is fine for most families and most food preparation. Now, as we're thinking about using a slow cooker or crock pot, there's a couple safety tips that I do want to mention if I can. The first one is that when you're using a slow cooker, you want to place or use meat that is thawed. Some cooking techniques allow you to use frozen meat. However, with a slow cooker, you want to use meat that is already thawed. And the reason for that is that it would take so very long for that frozen meat to come up to the safe temperature, the minimum safe temperature of 140 degrees. That's easy to remember. Always start with meat that's thawed. The other thing that's very easy to remember, when the meal is over, you want to remove your leftovers, if you have any, from your crock pot liner and store them in a different container in your refrigerator. If you tried to store this liner with the leftover food in your refrigerator, it would take so long for it to cool, it would be a chance for bacteria to grow and spread. So those are the only simple rules with using a crock pot or slow cooker. Always start with meat that's been thawed, and remember to put your leftovers in a container and store them in the refrigerator. Don't try to cool everything in your liner. Also, when you're cooking with a slow cooker, sometimes your recipe will tell you to put the potatoes or the carrots at the bottom of the cooker. The reason for that is they're considered a harder vegetable and will take a little bit longer to cook. Other recipes will tell you to brown your ground beef or your extra lean turkey and then put it in your slow cooker. And you would want to follow those instructions so you'll have a nicer product. Now, as we get ready to come into the kitchen, I want to show you a product that you might want to use if you have a slow cooker that does not have a removable liner. You can purchase disposable slow cooker bags at your grocery store and then just put it in your crock pot. And it's going to be noisy. But you'll put the liner in your crock pot and press all the corners or all the curves down, and don't worry that the plastic is extending over your crock pot. That makes for easy cleanup. To me, even though I have a removable liner, it is wonderful to use a disposable bag like this. And if you don't have a liner, you really want to use a disposable bag. Now, today we are going to fix the easiest recipe in the world. It's called Easy Chicken Santa Fe. Don't blink. You will miss this recipe. It is that easy. We have just 4 or 5, really 4 simple ingredients. And the ingredients are 1 can of black beans, and these black beans have been washed and drained. So we start off with 1 can of black beans that have been washed and drained. The second ingredient will be 2 large cans of whole kernel corn, and you don't want to drain this. This is where you get the liquid for your crock pot or your slow cooker to cook. The next ingredient you're going to use is my favorite just about, and that is salsa. You could make your own salsa, but I think for time-saving means you want to purchase salsa. You'll have 3 choices: mild, medium, or hot. This is the only seasoning we use in the slow cooker. My family has realized they like the hot best of all, and if you want something more bland, that's your choice. But today we're going to be using hot. The other ingredient in the recipe is going to be about 2 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken breast. If you're at the grocery store, you will purchase a pack of probably 3 large chicken breasts. I'm suggesting when you get home that you cut these large chicken breasts in half. For example, this is 1 chicken breast, and that is probably 2 or 3 servings. So what I would suggest you do at home, first of all, is trim the fat. And if you have some kitchen shears, this really makes the job a lot easier. I've already done this on the other chicken. But let's go ahead and trim any of the fat that you might find on the skinless, boneless chicken breast. And because a serving of meat is about the size of a fist or a deck of cards, you'll want to go ahead and cut the chicken breast in half. And I'm using just some kitchen shears that makes that job so much easier. So now 3 chicken breast pieces have been divided to 6 because this recipe will serve 6 to 8. I want to just really remind you to be sure to buy skinless chicken whenever you're shopping for chicken. Because when the skin or the fat is removed, the fat is in the skin. So when you remove that skin, you're removing a lot of extra fat. Now we're ready to begin just filling up our crock pot. I'm going to rinse my hands just for a second. And the first thing we're going to add is the 1 can of drained black beans. Black beans are filled with protein, and we need to be eating more beans in our diet. They're a wonderful source of protein and so inexpensive. The next thing we'll add will be the 2 cups of corn, and the juice has been left in the corn. That's going to be the liquid that the chicken uses to cook in. And you can go ahead and stir it a little bit if you want to. The next thing we're going to add is the 1 cup of salsa. And again, I'm chosen to use the hot salsa. This is your only seasoning. And then we're ready to add your chicken breast. And we're going to place the chicken breast on top of the corn, the black beans, and the hot salsa. It's going to fill up the top of your crock pot, no doubt about that, and that's fine. Now, when your chicken is in there, what you'll want to do is just stir it up a little bit, and we will end up with your some of the corn and black beans on top. I like to cook mine really on low. With my slow cooker, I have found that it cooks awfully fast if you put it on high. But now you're ready to put that lid on, and you can start yours at high or low. I've found that what I like to do is cook more at the lower temperature if you have more time. If you put this on high in my slow cooker, it'll be ready in about 3 hours. But that brings up a good question. How do you know when the chicken's ready? Well, there's a couple of ways. With this recipe, the chicken becomes so tender, it is almost falling apart. And you can see where it's breaking apart. But the sure way to know if the chicken is done is to use an instant read thermometer. This is placed into the chicken at one of the thickest parts, and the temperature is allowed to rise. You would like a minimum internal temperature of 165 to 170 degrees. I don't think you'll have any trouble recognizing when your chicken is done, but also remember to use the instant read thermometer. In 4 hours, if you've kept it on high, it's going to be ready. Now, they say every time you lift up your slow cooker lid that you're losing heat and you're losing about 20 minutes or 25 minutes of cooking time. And that's probably true. But with this recipe, I would stir it a couple of times and keep the chicken moist with the corn and black beans on top. Wasn't this easy? It probably took 5 minutes to prepare. This is easy Santa Fe chicken that's going to serve 6 to 8 people. 4 or 5 hours later, you're ready to enjoy easy chicken Santa Fe. Before your chicken leaves the slow cooker, you can sprinkle the 1 cup shredded cheddar cheese on the top of your chicken in the slow cooker. Or, as I have done today, I'm sprinkling the cheese now as it's served. So the cheese I'm using is low-fat cheese. I certainly would encourage you to use low-fat cheese. And this is almost a complete meal in itself with the corn, black beans, salsa, and I've added some raw broccoli for a complete meal. I hope you'll enjoy eating smart with me as you enjoy easy Santa Fe chicken.